In this video, we'll be looking at some techniques for beating Creative Block. Specifically, we'll be looking at some ways we can create track templates, save plugin channel strips and presets. Having some of these things in place when we begin new ideas should vastly speed up our workflow and help our creative brain to approach new tracks and new ideas in a slightly different way than when we begin them with a complete blank canvas. I have a mastering project loaded up here. I have my mixdown placed on my audio channel. I have an instance of iZotope Ozone 7 placed on my master output with an equalizer, multiband dynamics, an exciter, stereo imager and my maximizer. After this I have an instance of Sample Magic's AB plugin, and I have a series of tracks that I'd like to cross-reference my mix and master to these tracks as I work through. After the AB, I have my multimeter set up where I can measure and check for the frequency analysis. To set these plugins up each time I do a mastering project is going to cost me time. It'll be much easier to load a project with everything preloaded onto my master output. A way of doing this is once I've created my mastering chain here, before I load in my audio channel, I can save this as a template. I simply go to my file drop-down menu and select Save as Template, and then I can select it as a mastering template. This means when I go to New from Template, I can close this, and Logic Pro gives me the option to load this mastering template. And loads very quickly with all my mastering plugins on there. In this Logic project, I've set up a mix template. I've got a sidechain trigger on my first channel, a series of audio channels ready to drop audio samples in. I have an external MIDI instrument set up to record my hardware synth. I have an instance of Machine 2 loaded here, and I have a drum kit loaded into Machine 2. I also have some of my favourite preset packs loaded on some of my favourite synthesizers, a couple of instances of Massive and also Silent, and some of my favourite preset banks are loaded onto these synths. I can do the exact same thing again. Like the mastering template that we set up, I can save this as a template, meaning that when I go to start new projects in the future, I already have my sidechain trigger set up. I have some empty audio channels ready to drop samples into. I have my external MIDI track set up for my hardware synth, my machine for my drums, and any other programming I want to do using my Machine 2 hardware. I also have some of my favourite preset packs and synthesizers loaded up. This saves that time that would take every single project when you start a new idea. Everything comes preloaded and I'm just ready to go and get my ideas down. I do the same thing again, go File, Save as Template. Another way we can speed up our workflow in Logic Pro is to save plugin channel strips. On this Pluck lead sound here, I've got an instance of Massive loaded with one of my favourite preset libraries loaded into this synthesizer. I've also got a sidechain compressor, a channel EQ, a phaser and a spreader. If these are the plugins I would normally apply to this type of sound, I could simply click the drop down at the top of the channel strip here and select the Save Channel Strip setting as. And then when I create a software instrument in Logic in any given project, I can check the settings drop down menu here and select lead from the options. It loads that instance of Massive with those presets loaded in there, but also loads all the other plugins that I'd applied on that channel. This can massively speed up workflow And if you apply similar plugin settings for bass, leads, pluck sounds or drum sounds as you work through projects, it's worth saving them for recall at a later point to save that time. Another really nice feature of Logic is the import feature. We can import plugin settings, synth patches, auxiliary sends or even master output settings directly into our project from any other previous Logic project. I just need to navigate to wherever that project is, click on the Logic project file, select import, and then have access to everything from that project. So I can select any of the content used in that project from any of the MIDI regions or any of the audio regions, the inputs and outputs, or even the automation. I can also select any of the plugin settings and channel strips that I'd set up in that project and import them directly into my current project that I'm working on. This also applies to my auxiliary sends and my master output. So for example, if I really like the reverb send I'd created on this project I'm importing from, I simply select it in the plugins column and add it into my current project. And then those auxiliary send effects are imported onto an auxiliary channel on my mixer. Ableton Live also has an option to create an auto load or template project. In this instance of Live, I've got some similar stuff set up. A sidechain trigger, a drum rack, a Machine 2 instance, an analog synthesizer, some external input channels. I've got some auxiliary sends set up here and some mastering set up on my master channel. If I want all of this to load every time I begin a new project in Live, I can simply go to my preferences, file folder, and save current set as default, meaning that every time I load a new project, all of this will load. The only problem with this is it's quite nice to have a few different templates set up depending on the mix situation or mastering that you might be doing. There is a workaround in Live for this. If we want this just to be the mix template and we want to set up a separate mastering template, we just go to File, Save Live Set As, and navigate to our Ableton Live user library. In my user library, I've already created a templates folder. I could save this as mix template. So now when I go to load new projects, I go to my user library, I go to my templates folder, and there it is. This means I can quickly load in different templates and select a number of different templates as we did with Logic Pro. When we load a template in this way, Live is intelligent enough to ask us when we go to save the project to save as rather than saving over that template. In order to save plugin channel strips the way we did in Logic Pro, we can simply group a series of either instruments and effects together, and then once we've grouped, we can save this as an instrument rack. This means that we can save our favourite channel strip settings for recall in later projects. That's all for now. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Any questions you've got, please give us a shout, and thanks for watching.